Hi there, it's Connie-Rae. Welcome to Stampityourself.com. I have got a new gorgeous tutorial for you today, which is this little treat bag with 6 little Easter eggs in, and an extra special delivery truck that's got the eggs in it. This is really cute for it's a little topper basically for the cellophane bag, and it's really cute to give to kids, to give to their friends at school or whichever, whatever. So this little truck here has been floating around most of the social media sites because it's a free set, and I've changed some of the little bits and pieces to make it look like it's an Easter egg delivery truck. So I'll show you how I've done it. It's a little bit fiddly, a little bit techniquey, but it's certainly worth it. This here is actually just a little bit of leaf. I thought it needed a little bit of a background, but in the picture it kind of looks a little bit strange, but that's what it is. So the sets that I have used for my sentiment, Your Extra Special. Whoop, sorry. Okay, Your Extra Special. There we go. There it is there. And I have put that inside on the side of the truck. You can see it there. Really cute. This is the free set that you get with any $90 purchase. So that's the truck that I'm using. And I've also... Oh, sorry, my phone's on. I should turn that off so it doesn't distract either of us. There's another one with the flourish that I've done. That's kind of nice, but anyway, look, you can do whatever. The other thing I thought might be a bit quicker, because I used a stencil to do that little flourish there, was another free one, which is the medallions, which has just come out, 21st of Feb, I think it came out. And this is another free set as well. And I've used this little flourish here in the corner. And I've decided to use that on top of the corner of my topper. So there you have it. All right, so moving right along. Cute, hey? I haven't put anything on the back because they're not going to be interested really in the technique and the hard work that you put in. They're just going to rip open the bag and eat the chocolates, aren't they? Really. Okay, so using the truck, there's a few things you need to do. Okay, so first things first is that you need a piece of whisper white cardstock, extra thick, and you're going to be it's going to be 5 inches in height. Yep, 5 inches in height and 3 1/4 inches in width, and scored at 2.5, and that equals a little topper that measures nicely to pop a cellophane bag in. You're going to need an extra piece of cardstock. I'm just going to beam out a bit because that's it. Oh, don't really want to see me, but let me see if I can just go in, and then there we go. An extra piece of cardstock so that we can do some stamping on it. And I have previously stamped using black memento, but I found it a bit harsh in terms of Easter colours, so I swapped it over to basic grey. Is that what it is? No, smoky slate, beg your pardon. Smoky slate to stamp the truck and the eggs. And then I've used an array of Copic colour markers, Easter colours, to colour in my eggs with lots of different options that you can use. The main colours that I've used Copic to colour the truck, and I've used W1 and W3 to colour the truck. I found that I tried a pink one, I tried a blue one, I tried a yellow one, and I just really found that the colour of the truck is kind of nice and neutral. And then you've got the nice little soft Easter colours. It's just like, I'm just trying to see if you can see it as clearly. Yeah, it doesn't look as clear up there for you guys as it does for me, but certainly it's more than enough as a little gift. So that's what you need for colouring. So getting back to the card, so you've got your whisper white cardstock, you've got a piece to stamp your truck on, and you've scored it. You also need some basic grey cardstock for the road and the hill. And I used, look, you can draw a hill really and just cut it out and stick it on, but I used my hill shapers with the embossed stitching, the stitching on the side, and created my hill that way. So your hill, you can just have to go like that and cut it out. And then just as long as it's the width of the card, as close to the width of the card, which is 3 1/4, you'll be fine. And you stick it on the end, like so. So that creates a lovely hill, and you've got your little flourish there, ready for the truck. So there's another truck that I've done. So it's kind of, there you go, you can see the truck. It doesn't look really good in the camera because it's not really a video camera per se, so you can't go up and get the fine detail, but it certainly looks good. And I've used some glossy accents on the Easter eggs and the wheels and the lights to make it pop a bit. So when you're actually touching it, it's textured and it's pretty. So yeah, it looks probably a little bit better when you've got one in your hand, and the chocolate does everything for you, doesn't it? All right, so let me show you how I have done this. So I have stamped my truck with smoky slate. It's just a little bit softer and it's more appropriate, I think, for the Easter colours that we use. Now you can use a Misty for this, or you can use this one, your blocks. Some things I use Misty for, some things I use the blocks for. It's entirely up to you which one you use, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever works for you. So we're just going to stamp down our truck, nice and firm. And it's nice and soft in colour, it's not too loud. Now, the tricky bit is going to be, yes, I won't do that just yet. Okay, the trickiest part of this is going to be your Easter egg in your, what I do with my bunnies, my Easter set. Okay, it's run away from me. It's probably gone off to join that other egg that I can't find. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm using this set here for my eggs that are going inside the truck. Now, this is one stamp set. What I've done is I've cut it up. Shock horror. It doesn't affect, and I'll show you what I mean by that, it doesn't affect the way that the stamps are, and the stamps can go back together like a jigsaw puzzle. So that is what they look like when they're all chopped up. I've cut them up, but you can put them back together quite easily, but you can actually make them work more for you when you decide to use them the way that I have, and I'll show you how I've done that. So I've gotten my truck. Let me see, I think I might just stamp the sentiment, and then we'll go on to the egg setting of the eggs, because that's a little bit more fiddlier, something like that. Okay, I'll just take, I think I need this one here, so I'll just use this one and just make sure it's lined up nicely. And again, I did use Memento, but I just found it really harsh for this particular project. So I would certainly recommend the grey, smoky slate. I keep going grey, it's not grey, it's smoky slate. There we go. Because it's just a nice tone. Okay, now I've got a little bit on my block there. I'm just going to take it off because I don't want it to go onto my project. Okay. There we go. Look at that. See? It fits beautifully, doesn't it? Okay. So I've had a bit of practice at this, I have to say. All right. You're going to need some post-it notes like these. These are the post-it notes that they're in all our offices here. Everybody at work's got one stuck somewhere on something. So if you can get some of these, it's really good. And the reason I like these for this particular project is you can see through this part, and you can see the eggs where you've placed them. And I really like that option for you. So if you've got some of those, you need some of those. And the first thing we're going to do is just go around the edge trim of the window. So the window, there's the window there. Okay, so you want to go around the edge of this window, just on that side, and along the bottom, and we're just going to block that out so that we can pop our Easter eggs in there and they're not going to overlap into the truck. So I've put 2 on each side just to stop that happening. And I've got big ones, but you can use 2 little ones, it's These are just ones that I had on hand. And again, as I said, you can see through. You want to probably, the one on the bottom, just like it, you want to make it convincing, like the eggs aren't sitting in the window, but they're sort of like on the window per se. There you go. So that's kind of covering up that area. Now you can do your stamping. So again, going back to your smoky slate, you're just going to muck around with the stamps. It's a good idea to practice and use my image that I have used. Let me just find my truck. Oh, yep, this one. You can use this one or use a picture of that I've got in the example, and it will just give you an idea on how to place the eggs. So it doesn't matter which one goes first, but it is kind of good to put a little bit topsy-turvy turn on them so that they look like they're active and they're jumping around in the truck, which is really cute. It was a fun project, but I was really determined to get these eggs in the window of the truck. I had a mission. As you can see, well, maybe as you can't see, you should be able to see. I'll bring it up closer in a second. So I've placed 3 in there so far. See how they're sort of like topsy-turvy in the window? That's good, isn't it? So we're going to put one on the side here and one on the side, up the top and the side here. And because we've got our little markers there, it's not going to mark, but it's going to look like the window is actually full of Easter eggs like that. So get another one. And the more pattern you've got in them, the more playful they are. They look really cute. But do practice before you go to do it, because it did take me a few goes to get it right. And you want to avoid the canopy. The canopy? Is it canopy? I'm thinking canapes. Not the ones you eat. You want to avoid that little bit up the top there of the shade. I'm going to stick to shade because I'm not sure if I'm saying the right thing. Okay, the canopy. Yeah, the canopy. Yeah, I'm thinking canapes or something. Anyway, all right, so just want to avoid that little scallop there. You don't want to touch that if you can avoid it, because your egg's going to look a little bit funny. You're going to have to start all over again. Trust me, I've done it. So, yeah, and if you need to, no, that's all right. Hang on, I'll take you through that step in a second. One more egg on the side here, just watching out for the scallop of that thing, because you can see through these polymer stamps, it makes it easier for placement. Okay, so once we take this off, you'll see how that worked. So they look good, don't they? So, but we want to put one right in the middle, and I'll show you how to do that. So with these, just make sure, little tip, that there's no ink on those that you've used previously, and you're just going to go across on an angle across this way and leaving a little bit of the rim of one of the Easter eggs. And you can see here how I've marked it off, hopefully. It's just going across the top there of that top Easter egg, this one here. You can't see it, that's the line, but this one here is where the trim is. And we're going to do that across here as well, just leaving a little bit of the grey. See if I'm trying to organise to get myself a video camera that's got like a mega zoom in it. Yeah, but it's taking time and money, so we're getting there though. Getting there. So let's have a look. What have we got in there? We've got some, yeah, we'll use this one. One more into the top, but don't put it on the canopy, and just make it sit close enough to the edge of the other eggs, and a little bit of a tilt, I think, to make it look playful. And then you'll see, ta-da! Is that cute or what? That is, it's worth it. It's a little bit fiddly, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, I'm sure, but it is cute to do. And you can do this for the kids as well, and they can go in and they can colour all the truck and the Easter eggs, and it's just cute. Okay, so that being done, I have then, saving you a bit of time, hopefully, I have already coloured in, sorry, I'm looking for my card, here we go, my card, sorry, my truck. I've already coloured in my truck. So as I said, I have used W3 to go around the edges of my truck in W3, which is, what is it called? It's called warm grey. So it's done in warm grey around there. And then the inside of the truck I've used, oh sorry, my mistake. W3 is the one that I used to colour the truck on the edges. Then I went round the whole truck in W1, including the little window frames, so that it's sort of like it's silver. It looks silver in real life. And of course the wheels were done in black. I've done the canopy in yellow. And as I said, these are some Easter colours that I chose to use. I've used, these are Copic markers. I've used a nice V for purple, a BV00. I've used my colourless blender to blend the colours in, so when you've got the edges, you just draw it down. I didn't really want to make this a colouring session because it just takes too long to do, so I want to make it as quick as possible in the tutorial. But there's lots of ways that you can colour this. You can use coloured pencils, you can use water pencils, you can use whatever works for you. So you want to colour it in whichever way you want. If you don't want to do it with this, that's fine. It's entirely up to you how you colour your little project. I'm just doing the basics for you. So stamping the truck, I think, is the biggest part. All right, so then we've got the hill. Oh, okay, sorry, another part is we've got 5 inches by 3 1/4, scored at 2 1/2 for the topper, and then you've got to take your corner rounder and just round the corners. I have then just used my little flourish out of the new medallion set, which is this little flourish here. And it's really pretty. So I've just taken that and I've stamped it onto the corner. So I'll show you how I've done that. And I have used, what colour did I use for that? I used Old Olive. That's what I used. And I'll show you how I've done that. Just stamp it up. And I haven't done any mask or anything, and I've just basically put it into the corner. I don't want to stamp on my piece of paper. Just for one little stamp. Okay. There you go. Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. It does look nice in there. Just a little bit of greenery in the scene. It looks nice. Okay, so we've done that. We've rounded our corners, and now I'm just going to pop on the grey road, and your road is going to be the same width as your card, which is 3 1/4. So you're just going to stick it on. I use Tombow, and I stuck it on, and then I trim it just to make sure I've got my road looking the way that I want it to look. And I've used my Tombow on directly onto the card just to make sure. And the Tombow is good because it gives you a little bit of movability when you want to make sure you've got it aligned the way that you have. So I'm sort of just winging it, as they say, just to make sure it's even, and I'm happy with the placement of it. And it sticks really well, of course, too. Okay. I'll show you what to stick on the edges of this to make it look blended in as well. Okay, it's probably up a bit high, but oh, there we go. Okay, so I've get glue on my hands so easily. Okay, just trimming off the grey excess that you don't need, and again taking your corner rounder and just rounding off the grey. Isn't that cute? Okay, now I love the road. It works really well. Okay, Now for the road, I have used a ruler, obviously. It's the only way I'm going to get my line straight. I don't know about anybody else. And I've used my ruler to make my markings of my road with my Uniball pigmenting white. Just make sure it's working before you do. You don't want blotches on it. Okay, I think that might be, I might just start about here, I think. Yep. Am I going to use that? Yep, that's it. Okay. I used the marker because it stands out really well. And I also used, oh, that road looks a bit bumpy. Oh well, what's life without a bumpy road, eh? There we go. So we're just going to put little stitches on there for the road. Now around the edges, if you're, what I would do is that I would use the W3 in the Copic marker, or black. It's entirely up to you. Just to go around the edges of where the grey is here. So it just makes it sort of like the white doesn't look as obvious, and it blends the road in a bit into your project. There we go. Actually, I might just put a bit of black on that one because there's a little bit of white hanging over. And if you make it black, it looks just a little bit better. But it just makes it blend in a little bit more. And it doesn't look as obvious. There we go. Okay, let's see. All right, so we got that far. All right, cooking with gas, as they say. I'm just going to... sticking up and it was annoying me. Now, as I said, I've gone over the colouring. Oh yes, and the wheels I've coloured. Oh, and the truck itself, I have gone around the truck in black all the way around so that you don't have that white contrasting look, so it blends into your little project. Okay, and then yep, that's good. I've used dimensionals to stick it up. What else am I trying to say here? Oh, and for the light, I obviously use yellow, and the reflectors I use like a pinky orangey colour. But then I put the glossy accents on the wheels, the lights, the reflectors, and the eggs. It's entirely up to you. If you don't have it, they're not going to notice. They're not going to miss it. But I liked it when I did it, and it just looked really cute. And as a project for you guys, I think it's really handy to use some of these techniques because it gives you that little bit of practice and the experience of mucking around with different mediums, which is what I like to do. I love to play with different ideas and different mediums. So for me, it's kind of like, oh, I wonder if this will work. Oh, I wonder if this will work. And, you know, you've got to try, haven't you? Okay, so we're up to sticking on our truck. You can see I've tried. Look, there's a truck that's gone bad. It's gone rogue on the back. Okay. I'm just going to pop him so he's looking. So when I put him on to the other thing, you want to put him onto your road looking like he's in motion. So you want to be able to see a little bit of the hilly bit so that it looks like he's actually on a mission. And there's a little bit of movement in there. So that looks good to me. See, he looks like he's on a mission, doesn't he? He's on a mission to deliver those eggs. So that's really cute, isn't it? All right, so that all being done, it's clear as mud, as they say. All right, now the Easter eggs. Easy peasy. You just need some cellophane bags. What size are these? I've got big ones and little ones, and not many chocolates left either. Let me see. Now these ones are 3 1/4 by 5, and that's, yeah, 3 1/4 by 5. Yeah, and that's going up to this part here. So that's up to 5. So what you can do is you can put 6 little Easter eggs in. Easy. And, oh, what have I done with the eggs? Did I eat them? No, I didn't. I know I didn't. I didn't eat all of them, I promise. Okay, I'll put them somewhere. I'm trying to hide them from myself. I wonder if my son's been in and grabbed them. No, he wouldn't do that to me, would he? Oh, found them. Okay, so 6 eggs is more than enough. Take one out. Oh, here's a blue one. Put a blue one here too. There we go. 6 eggs. Because it is a little bit of a gift, isn't it? It's not really the big Easter Bunny stuff. The Easter Bunny's got better eggs and bigger eggs. But these are great for kids at school too, as gifts. Okay, so I'm just popping our little eggs in. Oh, those things are staticky, aren't they? Okay, no particular rhyme or reason the way that I folded this or put this in. It just folded over. I didn't want it to be too heavy, and I didn't want it to be too bulky when you put it into here, because otherwise it's just going to rip and it's going to, you know, it's not going to work. So 6 is more than enough. Or you can use the smaller eggs that they make, different brands. I'm not sure, but I love Cadbury chocolate. Actually, Lindt is my favourite, I think. As long as it's fairly... Actually, I've got a weakness for white chocolate. Oh my gosh, I love white chocolate. I'm so bad. It's very sweet. I think that's why. All right, so we're using some double-sided tape and putting a bit on that end of the card and that end of the, well, the card topper, per se. And... Oop, cut my finger off in the process. Okay, easy. And of course it doesn't want to cooperate. Oh, yes it does. Good on you. Okay. So it's a really easy project. You know what? You don't have to do the truck and you don't have to go to the fuss that I've gone to. But as a project, I like to encourage people to try new techniques. So do give it a go. And don't be afraid to cut up your stamp, because it's not going to change it. You can put it back together and use it exactly the same way. It doesn't change the functionality of the actual stamp itself as a whole. It only changes it when you want to use it singularly. And it does work. Don't cut up your red rubber ones. I wouldn't recommend that. But the polymer ones, yes. There we go. Some double-sided tape on our Easter egg. And there we have 2 special deliveries for somebody special. How's that? Okay. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know it was a little bit long, so I do apologise. A little bit fiddly, but I really think it's fun. And I think if you're going to give them to kids' schools for treats, you can do that. And the other thing is, you don't have to go to the great lengths that I went to with the colouring. You can get the kids to colour them in with just coloured pencils. Easy. It's entirely up to you how you do that. So hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial. It was a lot of fun bringing it to you. And I am going to go off and start looking at doing another tutorial using something else, because there is so much stuff available at the moment that I'm just dying to crack open another stamp set and do something original with it. So thanks for joining me. Take care until I see you next time with another tutorial, hopefully one as yummy as this one. And I'm sure that those eggs aren't going to last much longer. Thanks for joining me. Take care, and please subscribe and have a great week. Thank you. Weekend, actually. Weekend. Today's Friday. Thank you.